It's a funny word, empathy, the ability to understand the feelings of one another. This concept is the end-all be-all for most people. So long as we can empathize with each other, the world will go round. And for the most part, I would agree. After all, we are one of the few species on this earth that can actively express empathy, so it must be pretty special. Well, there are those other parts that would lead me to disagree. In most cases, empathy only allows you to see and understand that person at that moment. The person doesn't matter, nor what they have done, so long as they look in need enough for you to empathize with them at the time. This makes your judgment, as the empathizer, quite biased. Now, wait a minute, you might be saying. No matter what they've done, everyone deserves empathy, right? Sure, I'd agree with you. Again, for the most part. Let's create a hypothetical. Take this person here. No, it's too easy. Let's think smaller. Take a cell. Even though it should be general knowledge that cells don't have pronouns, let's call it a he, just to create that human aspect. As you may have noticed, he does not look quite like the other cells. He's a little different, and for that he's been rejected by the others all his life. The cell does not question it anymore. What's the point? They wouldn't answer his question as to why they hate him. On this particular day, he was especially defeated. He was just sad. He stopped walking as he thought, I just wish I had someone to talk to. You do. He looks up. This cell didn't look like him, but what was most striking to him was that this cell didn't look like the other cells he's met either. Who are you? Well, I'm a cell, so I don't really have a name. I'm like you, though. Our cell didn't know what to say. Did this cell have friends? Are they all nice? Do you want to meet the others? The others? What do you mean? Sure, the other cells that are like us. The ones who aren't like anyone else. Here, come on, I'll show you. Our cell was speechless. He followed, but didn't even know where he was going. But then again, he didn't care. For so long, this has been a fantasy of his, thinking the day would never come. Our cell thought he was doomed to be alone forever, and now, out of nowhere, his dream has come true. There were so many of them. So many that he couldn't believe he had never run into any of them before. They kept flowing out, like a broken faucet, into a community of cells. This community of cells like him. Hey there, one said to him. Our cell was shocked. He's never received anything more than an insult before. How you doing? So this is what it felt like to be accepted, to be a part of something. The feeling was so alien to him, he didn't even know how to respond. As they kept moving, the sea of cells didn't seem to end. It was like they were multiplying, each one nicer than the next. Our cell was so beside himself, he didn't even notice the other cell turning around to say, See, no matter who you are, where you are, or even what you've done, there's always going to be people there for you. You just need to look in the right places. And for the first time ever, our cell smiled. Touching story, right? Well, obviously, because all that was presented to you, the viewer, was the touching parts. Now, let's change our scope. Let's reintroduce our human from earlier. Let's call him Cameron. Cameron has a wife and one child, Cameron Jr., CJ for short. Cameron is a baker and loves both his job and his family. But one day at work, Cameron starts to feel ill. He's a bit of a cough, got a little dizzy, but nothing too serious. After putting it off for a bit, it was clear to him that he needed to go pay the doctor a visit. When there, he waited for some tests to be run. After a while, a doctor comes into the room and informs Cameron that he has a terminal case of cancer. Poor Cameron, right? Screw cancer, right? How's he gonna tell his family? But you were just sympathizing with cancer before. That's right. That was cancer. A cell that doesn't look like the rest, there were many abnormal cells, and a sea of other mutated cells. And here you were, empathizing with it. Now, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, nor am I saying it's bad to have empathy. Without empathy, we would all be sociopaths that would not be able to understand other human beings' emotions. However, I believe that it's put on too high a podium. It's obvious that you feel for somebody in their time of need. At the same time, empathize carefully. It's a dangerous emotion that, as demonstrated, can be easily manipulated. And that is my problem with empathy.